Well, I don't know whether I'm allowed to say the title of the book, but I'm just going to lob it out there. So I'm here to talk about Namaste Motherf ckers, my first book, and it came out last year in hardback. It's about to come out in paperback. So I've just been making my way through your lovely director of the Guernsey Literary Festival, Claire, said, "Oh, do you do lots of literary festivals?" And I said, "Well, I have done in the last year, but before then I'd never done one in my life." We should get out of our own way. There's enough that holds us all back as human beings, enough stories that, particularly if you're a midlife woman, you get lots of stories about what is and isn't possible, what you should and shouldn't do. And I rather like the idea of us ripping up the rule book and deciding that we should be living our own imperfect stories rather than someone else's perfect one. So it's a book about not waiting for things to be perfect. I mean, all the bits of the book, I read bits from the book in my tour show and at literary festivals. And whenever I read the bits of the book I most like, I almost don't feel like I wrote them. I mean, I would like to say I did write them, but I don't remember writing the bits that I like the best. So I think that what surprised me was what I was capable of doing, which not least writing a book. I'm an avid reader. There are so many books that sort of, changed my life. And I think even when I used to read, Jane Austen, I used to think about the women in those books are quite subversive in a way. I think from that period of literature, 19th century literature stuff full of gender stereotype busting female protagonists. So I think I've quite often been drawn to books that have women at their heart. The thing that resonates more than the questions I'm asked are the fact that I would say probably 70 or 80% of my audiences are women probably between the ages of 40 and 60. And who knew, but when you get women in midlife in a room, it's a bloody good night, always. It just is. And their stories are fascinating and they're brilliant. I've never had so much fun as I have with the people who come to see the show and the talks that I do for this book. It's just a complete joy. And every one of those women would be absolutely as worth having on the stage as me if they were given the microphone. That's the other thing I've learned. Yeah.